The top stories. A transport board cash shortage leads to a strike by repairmen. An economist issues another call for government to go to the IMF. And Bandleaders call for limits on band numbers at Foreday Morning. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, September the 24th, 2014.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your time, your way.
Workers of the company, which has in the past done the bulk of bus repairs at the Transport Board, have gone on strike. They say they won't return until the cash short board pays a $20 million debt to the United Commercial Auto Workers Limited, or UCAL.
To make a decision that they're not going back to work until they get the money support by Transport Board, which is about $20 million. Because this is the third time that this has happened, and we have not been paid, that we have to stop work. And it cannot continue so all the time.
The workers' frustration boiled over when wages were not paid on time this week for the second occasion in recent months. A situation they say is caused by the board's failure to settle the debt. Economist Ryan Strawn says the fiscal policies of the Frendel Stewart administration have failed, and he has again recommended that the government seek an IMF loan. Speaking at the Barbados Chamber of Commerce breakfast discussion on the pros and cons of a formal IMF program, Mr. Strawn said the government had shown it was incapable of fixing the problems on its own and needed help. He said going to the fund could help to restore confidence in Barbados, and the government's policies were not working fast enough to do so on their own. Take care of your brain. That is the advice from Pamela Brayton, the president of the Barbados Alzheimer's Association. Ms. Brayton has urged Barbadians to adopt a brain-healthy lifestyle to combat the debilitating effects of Alzheimer's. These include looking after their heart, getting physically active, eating healthily, and enjoying social activity. About 4,000 people in Barbados are estimated to have Alzheimer's. The man charged with setting fire to the housing unit where he lived with his grandmother has been sent to the psychiatric hospital for evaluation. 25-year-old Dadio Tellel Foster of 99D Eden Lodge was not required to plead to the indictable charge of arson and is scheduled to reappear in court in a fortnight. It is alleged that Mr. Foster set fire to the home he shared with his grandmother, Eileen Foster, on Monday. Their home was destroyed and those adjacent were extensively damaged. Band leaders have called for a cap to be put on bands at Foreday Morning, the street parade that some say is already outstripping Kadooment. On Tuesday night at the National Cultural Foundation's Let's Talk series at the Steel Shed, band leaders argued the growing number of bands did not mean greater numbers of revelers. They said 30 to 35 bands should be the maximum, rather than the 60 or 70 small bands which could add to confusion on the roads. The CEO of the NCF Cranston Brown cautioned, however, that a limit on bands could put the foundation at risk of lawsuits. But another official countered that enforcement of existing rules could do the job of controlling band growth. The different facets of the Barbados Coast Guard were shown to the students of the Lester Vaughan Secondary School when they toured the Coast Guard base in Spring Garden. Under the guidance of leading seaman Kevin Hart, the students looked around the ship HMBS Rudyard Lewis, the engineering department, and other headquarters areas. The tour was organized by the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport as part of International Maritime Week activities. Sport now. West Indies have recalled Barbadian Dwayne Smith as well as Marlon Samuels and Jerome Taylor for the one-day leg of the tour to India next month. Guyana batsman Leon Johnson, who made his test debut earlier this month against Bangladesh, has also been called up. None of the three played in the one-day matches against Bangladesh. Chris Gayle will miss the India series as he is still rehabilitating from injury. Minister of Sport Stephen Lashley says his ministry is drafting a policy on the financing of sport and hopes to have it in place by early next year. The minister spoke as he hosted top sportsmen and women at his office on Tuesday. He told them their efforts were not in vain. And finally, a British grandmother said a stroke she suffered earlier this year turned her language from completely clean to quite filthy. 65-year-old Pat Preston said she used to be able to control my upset, as she put it, but since suffering a stroke in January, she just can't help it. Ms. Preston says she has started using a swear box she requires herself to pay money into when she lets loose with profanities. That's it for Wednesday. Nation News is also available on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. Also, The Daily Nation is out at newsstands on Thursday.